Call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. You can be seated. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Just remember to please silence your cell phones. First up on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I will move that.
Second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Nelson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes 5-0. Next up is the consent agenda. Items 2 through 4 constitute a consent agenda. Routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items passed unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 2 is approval of the minutes of the September 16th, 2025 meeting. Number 3 is approval of the claims. Number 4 from Human Resources, Melissa Thomas, is the approval of the memorandum of personnel transactions. And that is the end of the consent agenda. All right, I will move that.
Second.
Motion by Bittinger, second by Nelson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. All right, that brings us on. Item 5, Board of Supervisors, myself, and Dr. Pamela Ingram. It's the approval of Cornerstone Development Opioid Settlement Fund use request. And with that, I'll ask Dr. Ingram to come onto the mic and introduce yourself. And thank you for coming today to present your request. And so, yeah, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name's Pam Ingram. I've lived in the Siouxland community my whole life. I'm an owner of Family Access Center, which does substance abuse and mental health. The last 4 years, we have served a high-risk population of unhoused individuals, both coming from prison treatment and the homeless population. We partner with Hope Street of Siouxland. Hope Street does more of the case management piece for those people that, have not eaten, have not had a place to sleep, have not had medical care or dental care. For Copperstone, we utilize ours as a place where people could work, could function, could have part of the caring part of the social services field and ensuring that they attend meetings and are working and they have random drug tests and whatnot. I do have a brochure for each of you.
Motion to receive.
Second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. And Dr. Ingram, can we have one extra for the auditor?
Oh.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we just need to have one for the official record meeting. Thank you. All right, go ahead, continue on, go ahead.
The house that we have is at 1720 Summit. And as you can see by the brochure, that this is a house that any of us would reside in. And we believe that the people that we serve should be able to live in a clean place where they can learn how to do chores, they can learn how to just essentially function in society and be around people that care. Mm-hmm. We're one of the most successful sober living homes in the state of Iowa. The Department of Corrections no longer sends people to 2 of the places here in Sioux City. They work very closely with us. We work with both adult probation and federal probation. What questions do you have for me? Are people familiar with sober living?
I am personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
We also, there's 11 places in Iowa that, is it 11 or 15? 15 places in Iowa that are nationally accredited with the Recovery Residents, the National Alliance of Recovery Residents. And we have 3 of those 15 here in Sioux City. And we are one of them. We have both a male and female home. The female is at 406 12th Street in the Old Parish. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we work very closely with Hope Street of Siouxland. I just don't know what else you want me
Yeah.
to tell
Oh,
you.
no,
about.
that's
What
that's
would
right,
you-
yeah, no, just.
Yeah, what
kinda-
else would you like to know?
Sure. So you're just asking, your total fund requests, in the backup, the total was, let me get here, was 442,000 over 2 years. That's what your total fund request. One question I always ask with these presentations are, if you were to only receive, let's say, half or less than half, would that still help your program, help you still advance your mission?
It would. What we're looking at with using this funding is that there are some places in Sioux City that are being run down, and some of the apartment buildings are being vandalized. And we have decided to partner with one of those individuals in the continuum of care, so that if they come from Hope Street or they come from George Park House, that we can get them into an apartment that would essentially be sober-free. So we're trying to work with landlords. We've worked with 2 of them so far that have worked with us, and so this is just part of the continuum of care that we're looking at.
Okay. All right.
How much do we have in the opioid fund currently, Mr. Budget Director?
Currently, we have just over $1 million. 125,000 of that has been allocated to the district health. So that gives the amount available to be about 944,000. That's currently in the fund.
Will we continue to get more of that? How much will that fund be capped at? Do you know any of that, Ryan?
We will still to continue to get funds. What that amount is, I do not know.
What I can speak to a little bit, from what, before Dennis passing, we talked about this, we will get more, but not in the amounts of the millions. It might be several hundred thousand more, but from this point forward, it will taper down. So, but that's all Dennis could give me at that time, so.
And tonight, we do have on the last item to join the Purdue settlement. And then I just got another one that will be on next week's agenda to join another settlement. But the dollar amounts, Purdue went into bankruptcy, so we don't know what that amount will be.
I have a question for Pamela. How many residents or guests do you, on average, per year, do you guys serve?
Maybe 100. They don't have to leave us. So we do have a couple people that have been with us 2 and 3 years. And we have people that have gone out on their own and relapsed, and we've brought them back into the program. But also, we aren't just about only serving the people within our umbrella. If we're full, we will refer them out. We refer them to, doctor's offices, mental health. We just take full advantage of the assets that we have in our community. So sometimes people don't come in through our doors and live there, but they're still getting services through us. And one of the things that you can see in my proposal is that this doesn't go just to staff members. This is going to go back into the community, the money that I'm asking for.
I appreciate the budget that you gave us. That's very helpful. And everything that you guys do is exactly what these opioid funds are intended for. My question for you is, we've got the money now. We don't know how much we're going to get in. So if we were to fund this at the full amount tonight, what happens in 2 years if we no longer have money? Because we're obviously funding other projects with this money. What happens on your end? Do those people leave and you go back to where you are now, or what's that look like?
Well, we haven't had any funds for 4 years.
Okay.
So we've been able to survive. My business partner and I don't take any money to do this, and we don't plan on taking money even if we get this. But we're in the process of setting up some services to bring money in, such as peer support. Peer support can be billed through the Medicaid. So we're doing that, as well as getting licensed as a substance abuse agency, so we can tap into some of those other dollars. So hopefully by the time this would run out, that we would be able to sustain. And we are a nonprofit as well.
Okay.
Do you think that the full funding now is the best, or would you rather, if we were to fund, you know, 1 or 1.5 positions, but maybe made it 4 years or 5 years? I mean, what do you think looks the best on your guys' side of things?
I think 4 or 5 years would be very beneficial if it was spread out. Just because, like I said, we're doing a continuum of care, and we have not done all of the things that we can do, especially setting up insurance contracts and just jumping through a lot of the hoops, and we found that it takes time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, one thing for the board to consider is is with our county attorney, James Loomis, over the last 2 years, we've known they've been understaffed, and James has wanted to use some of this money within the jail as well to help address addiction, opioid addiction, mental health in the jail prior to release, to help facilitate that on the way out. And so James is just, of course, has been not able to address that yet because they're understaffed. Now that they're up to staff, I'm going to get with James to see when he can begin to get us some numbers on how much of the funds he needs, what's the program look like. So that's something to consider too, just in this decision. James was hoping to use some of that as well, so.
Because I'm just looking like, the math would be is if you funded 1.5 of the 2.5, you could fund, it's kind of funny, it comes out to 5 years exactly. And obviously your budget might change, but it comes out to 5 years exactly for the same 442. So then, and that's more of a question for you guys, because I don't work in this field.
Right.
Is it better to have 2.5 people for 2 years if the board wants to fund that, or is it better to have 1.5 for 5? You know, if we want to approve 442,000 of that opioid tonight. So that's kind of the question.
Yeah, I would rather go the 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I think that some of the things that we're looking at are going to take time. But I do think that you can tell by just driving up 13th in Nebraska, where Hope Street is, that area's been cleaned up. It looks like a nice neighborhood. We're hoping to do the same thing by the Follis Apartments.
So Mark, you're saying funding at the 88,000 a year?
88,490. Yep. And
Okay.
Times
Times
5 is literally
Exactly.
442. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how that works out, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions by the board for Dr. Ingram here?
We'd welcome any of you to come through our sober living home at any time, too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, well, Mark, you want to make that, do you want to make a motion for that, or?
Yeah, my discussion was just that I think that with these types of programs, it seems like the longer that we can keep them around, the better. And
Yeah.
so I'd hate to see this fall off in 2 years, because we don't know. And we could have the money that they could come back in 2 years and maybe we could keep funding that. But we also have a lot of other good organizations after this
Correct.
money. I kind of like that it's more long-term,
I
spreads
agree.
it out a little bit. So that would be where I'm at, but I'd be curious to see where some of my other supervisors are.
How long have we funded programs for the other uses? I don't think it's been up to 5 years yet.
No,
has
it's
it?
just been one time. They were asked for some one-time
Okay.
funding, so
But some of them, it's been one-time ask, but some of them have been for 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Or, it
Yeah.
was funding for 2 years' worth of their operations.
Yes,
but
And that's
this
my
would be the
thought,
longest.
if we just, if we do it per year,
Per year, yeah.
you know, but not say that we're gonna do it for 5 years, just,
Every year come back and ask
Yeah.
for it, and we just, yeah. Because Agape was a one-time ask. Sky Ranch Behavioral Services was a 2-year funding, but it was just a one-time ask amount we gave them, yeah. And then Siouxland
Chairman,
District Health,
The district health was a 2-year,
2-year, but just a one
but
ask.
they're drawing it as it goes, because they're.
Correct.
It's being as each payroll, so.
Right. Yeah,
Well, we could do that too. I mean, we could fund them for 2 years and have them come back in 2 years and then request more if we want to stay in line with what we've kind of done. But
yeah. if we did 2 years, that'd be 176. That would be in between Agape and what we did with Agape and Sky Ranch Behavioral. It'd be kind of in between those two amounts we approved.
Okay.
So I'd be obliged to that. So I'll make the motion to fund a 2-year commitment at $176,980.80 to Copperstone Development, sober living home.
Second.
All right. Motion by Bittinger, second by Nelson. Any discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. All right. We'll be in touch with you, Dr. Ingram, okay? I'll be in touch with you in our board office about that, so. All right. Thank you for your service to helping our community. All right, that's item number 5. Item number 6, planning and zoning, Don Norton and myself. This is the approval to allocate $1,000 from gaming revenue in 2 days, 16 hours total of paid time off for the United Way of Siouxland Employee Contribution Campaign. So with that, Dom, you come on up and just kind of, once again, I know it's kind of routine, then just give us an overview and any questions the supervisors have for you.
I am doing the United Way campaign again this year, and one of the big things that helps the campaign is incentives. We've done different types of incentives before, but the county is, for as long as I can remember, has donated $1,000 from gaming funds. And then also we ask for 2 8-hour paid time off days. And so then we just split them out and do drawings for them. So if you guys
Okay.
have any questions?
All right. Not hearing any?
Thank you for spearheading this.
Thanks.
All right, I would move to approve.
Second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Nelson. All right, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. All right, thank you, Don.
Thanks.
Item number 7 from Human Resources, Melissa Thomas. It's approval to obtain Gallagher Benefit Services as our health care consultant. With that, take it away, Melissa.
So this agenda item is to hire a consultant for employee health plan. Now, a consultant is going to help us in a lot of different ways. It'll provide access to claim audits, pharmacy audits, and other tools to provide better data regarding our plan. Now, they will save us money by helping us model our plan in the most efficient way possible. The cost for these consultant will be $4,000 per month and will be billed through Wellmark in the month-end statement. So, and this will be out of our health fund then. Now, the consultant fee agreement is between Wellmark and Gallagher, and it will also be referenced in the upcoming renewal.
All right. Questions from the board?
I just want to say I've been familiar with this process through the healthcare world and also through the agent I believe you're working with as well, and have just a great experience there. So I think that a lot of savings will be had and a lot of things will be improved. So fully supportive.
Good, thank you.
I met with Seth, right?
Yes.
And Melissa and Dan, and I was super impressed. These guys work with public entities a lot, but the amount of data they have, it was incredible that they can pull from their data set and they can look at an entity like the county and say, look, we know that if we audit your contracts, we will find X amount of people that should not be on the county's health insurance. Or if we we audit the pharmacy, that we'll know we'll find X amount of dollars that you're not getting in discounts that you should be, those types of things. And the numbers will drastically far and above pay for what
Right.
this is costing us. And I think it's a responsibility that we have to taxpayers, that we're making sure that any money that they're paying that goes towards an employee benefit or a pharmacy bill, whatever, is exactly what it should be
Right.
and not a penny more. And I don't know that have you done this in your time here at the county?
Not utilized a consultant, so.
Yeah, and so I just think that that's something we should do
Right.
periodically, and so it's probably overdue. But I was very, very impressed with what they do and how far-reaching they are across the country, and this is their wheelhouse. And I think it's time to do that, and it was great to hear from Matthew that he's worked with them, and,
That's good to hear.
so.
That's good.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa, for spearheading this. All right. All right. I'll move to approve to obtain Gallagher Benefit Services as our health care consultant.
Second.
All right. Motion by Binger. I'll give it to second by Carper. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Item number 8 from Board Administration, Ryan Erickson. It's to approve the reallocation of $25,737.99 from fiscal year 23 Edge Firewalls, $15,462.59 from fiscal year 24 Edge Firewalls, $9,064.54 from fiscal year 25 Edge Firewalls, and $50,000 from FY 25 LEC Network, and $32,000 from the FY 26 DPC Foundation to be made available to new projects. And with that, Ryan, turn it over to you.
Yeah, this came about, I had a conversation with John Malloy with the WCICC, and the reason, those edge firewalls is actually one project. If they had come and had an early ask for fiscal '26, but there was money available in previous years, that project is now completed, and then the LEC network will not be done. And per conversation with him, I feel it's best that we have borrowed for that money. We have borrowed that money, and those projects, that money should be made available for projects that are, new projects that have been identified. Or the other option is the board can, return the money. But I think we have identified a project, and when I went through in the board packet, the items that I've highlighted in yellow were the projects that are being, reallocated. And the last one was Dorothy Pico Center. We had set aside $32,000 for the foundation. Right now, the process is to monitor, and that $32,000 is not needed immediately. So again, I'd like that to be made available for a new project.
Okay.
And for the next item, I do have another, if you want to receive during that, how we can use these reallocated funds to do a new project.
Okay, all right.
So there's roughly $132,263 on this motion of reallocation of CIP.
Yes.
Any other further discussion? I'll move it.
Second, thanks for your work on that, Ryan.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Nelson. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. All right. On to number 9, County Auditor Michelle Scaff. Item A is the presentation of the Carl R. Ernst Founders Award to Diane Swoboda Peterson for excellence in the recorder industry. And so with that, Michelle, we'll let you take it away.
And the Oscar winner is? So I wanted to make sure that I recognize excellent award that one of my staff member, Diane Swoboda Peterson, has received. So Diane's been an employee with the county for over 28 years, working in the recorder's office. She's my chief deputy in the recorder's side of the office. So she is the one that knows everything over there. So she has been participating in a nationwide organization called PRIA for about 20 years or so, pretty much since it has began. And at the most recent conference, she was awarded the highest award that they offer. So I just want to kind of read what's in your background so the public can hear a little bit about this. PRIA was established in 2002, and it includes a diverse group of people representing the government, titles, financial institutions, and technical providers. It focuses on improving performance of accuracy, access, and speed, and adopts national standards and best practices for the property records industry. Now, Diane has been a member of PRIA for over 20 years. She's been a leader, she's been an educator, and an advocate within the organization. She brings a strong local perspective from our own county to the group in a respectful and inclusive manner. And she's been an active supporter and adopter of e-recording, and she's worked with the state to develop public access to land records. She's served 5 two-year terms on the PRIA Board of Directors, and she served on the Council of Advisors.
The award was presented by Priya, but I'd like to recognize her here with the award, to recognize her years of service, her mentorship, and her commitment to the recorder community that has helped shape the way we are today. Very proud to have her here today, so with no further ado, here is Diane, and I'll let her say a few words if you'd like. So, good job, Diane.
Thank you, thank
Got
you,
it?
thank you. Yep, thank you. Thank you, Michelle, appreciate it, and board. I was very awed at getting this. I didn't expect it, so, and I didn't expect this tonight either. And I want to thank Michelle, and I want to thank all of you for allowing me to attend the conferences twice a year. They mean a lot to me. I've made some lifetime friends there, and we've really made a difference in the recording industry, so thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, come back, Diane, we need a couple photo ops here. We started a new auditor's Facebook page, so this is gonna be a great post, so. If you guys wanna stand up or somehow be in the background, we'll get everything.
Yeah, we can see that, sure.
If we're not gonna break the lens, I mean.
Okay, and you want by yourself? Okay, good job, Diane.
Yeah, we gotta give it another round of applause. Yeah, that's- Yeah. Thank you, Diane, for serving our citizens for 28 years. That's an amazing feat, dedication. All right, is that everything for that?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right. All right, item B. It's to approve funds up to $75,000 for the auditor recorder's office repairs, furniture, and fixtures to be paid from reallocated fiscal year 23 through 26 CIPs. And Brian, let's go ahead. I'm going to move to receive that backup that you have of financial stuff for the board. So I'll move to receive.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. Michelle, we do have your paper clip copy, not stapled. We have your paper clip copy, not stapled.
Yeah, very good, thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Chairman,
It's kind of like James Bond, shaken, not stirred, right? So, paper clip, not
I'll
stapled.
just,
Yeah,
You
go
want
ahead,
me to
Ryan. Yeah, why don't you
explain
explain it real quick?
and
then
what I did here is, when I said in the backup, the yellow highlighted what was just reallocated. The green is kind of a proposal of how we can use these funds. As I said, in fiscal '23, there is a net total of $60,000, and on this, I have allocated it to the recorder. In fiscal '24, there was $52,000 that had never been allocated. So when we add that to the $15,000, that can finish the recorder and then take $53,000 on the auditor's office. And then in fiscal '24, there was $59,000 that was reallocated that can be, as I said, assigned to the auditor's office. And then in fiscal '26, that highlighted, was actually, there was $32,000 in that foundation row, but there was, after we reallocated, there's $12,000 left to cover the combined total of $200,000. And then there's another ask for the Anthon Courthouse that would be the other $31,000. So that's what this spreadsheet is showing.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan. I wanted to have Ryan,
And-
just so
and-
the board understands it, Michelle, before you present, which I think give a bigger
Very good.
picture. Yep.
And then that remains in 2026, there's still $75,000 available that is unallocated at the moment, that we just have, we haven't borrowed, so we're not paying interest on that.
And that would be after, if we approve the auditor
Yes,
recorder
that's
and
after,
Anthem
if-
altogether, we'd still have 75 remaining.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, Michelle, take it away.
Okay, so as you may recall, in February, when we originally discussed CIPs, I had come to the board requesting CIPs to help strengthen the security of the auditor election side of the office, and to also strengthen some of the security and replace repairs and replace cubicles and things within the recorder side of the office. And then in June, we came back with the CIPs again, and it was requested to work with Director Schmitz to get quotes, more estimates on the amounts. So I'm bringing this back to you with the estimates that I have received. And so basically, working with everyone, it's been decided that it would be more feasible to break this out into 2 CIP projects, one for the recorder side of the office and one for the election/finance side of the office. So the first item B is the recorder side of the office. So what you'll see in your homework here is that the key project goals would be to replace 9 cubicles. Currently, I think they're 6 by 6 or so, and these would change to be 6 by 8 by 4, so they'll be J-shaped cubicles for the majority of them. We're still working on the diagrams of that with one of the companies. Request to secure the entrance. Right now, there's kind of a hollow half door with just a little latch to go in and out. To replace a damaged front counter, which is original to the courthouse. It's made out of cork. Kenny researched that, and in order to keep in line with the historical declaration of the courthouse, they would use granite to replace that. To repair the seals and replace the blinds on the windows, a new public table and chairs, repair the paint and floor in the ceiling vault area. I think we've talked about that a little in the past of some of the leakage, and that's a very important piece, is making sure that those documents don't get damaged because they're irreplaceable. To paint an anti-slip coating for the stairs and the railings, to replace the microfilm counter, which is another, I believe, cork. Is that cork in that also? And that's another permanent countertop that's within the recorder's office. And then to add 2 ceiling fans to the vault area where there's not a lot of circulation. So breaking it out into just the recorder's office, you'll see that there's 2 quotes that are attached for it. So towards the back, there is the used furniture quote that was received from one company. It's the same cubicles that they've replaced in the IT department. And basically it was used for 1 year by an insurance company, and then COVID hit and a lot of people started working remotely, so that those cubicles were just not used. So if we were to go with that used options, it's a savings of $6,144 on the recorder side. And they can install the sit stand feature that was desired, because I think one of the concerns was the ergonomics of the workstations. And I was thinking that savings, if we were to choose this option, would help to fund replacing the microfilm countertop. So there's a preliminary plan in here. I actually, since I submitted this over the weekend, they submitted 3 more plans that are actually would work within the area there. This shows the front side of the recorder's office. There's 2 workstations in the vault area that would pretty much remain the same. There's not a lot that can be done in that area because it's so tight. So I'd entertain any questions that you have related to the estimates or the items within the recorders.
So for the first one, you're requesting $75,000 for a estimated cost of $58,709 for the used option.
Yes, you'll see the pink highlights do not have estimates. I met with Kenny and Chairman Bittinger last week and Director Erickson, our budget director, and we realized there were some items that were not in the estimates that had, and I didn't have it until last week. So those items are highlighted. Kenny thought that if I just increase the total amount between the 2 projects to $200,000, that would possibly help to cover those. So I just kind of distributed that equally across both projects.
And our rationale behind that was that if we're gonna be in there doing new, carpet and cubicles, let's go ahead and fix the things that are, the ceiling, fix the countertops, let's get it all done, and get the project completely finished while we're in there. Instead of doubling up for Kenny, Kenny's time and his staff is pretty precious, and we don't wanna have to move you guys twice, so you don't have disruption to your office as well. So that's kind of we don't have the numbers, but Kenny's, experience in this, he thought it'd be within a reasonable amount, 200,000 should be able to cover all of it. But, yeah.
I don't know what sort of issues really damage cubicles, other than workplace frustration perhaps. But on that note, is there a warranty consideration for new versus used, Kenny or Michelle? As far as ongoing cost, is there any sort of cost consideration to the warranty aspect of buying new?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I would say that, yes, my only concern with warranty is, well, with new, you'd be getting a 5-year warranty. I think that the used furniture would probably provide some type of a warranty. My concern is what type of warranty that used would be. I know the new is 5 years, and that covers all the electrical components. The electrical components are usually what fail, and usually are kind of costly, so that'd be my only concern there.
Okay.
And on the used, they did say that the electrical components of the sit-stand station would be covered for 1 year for the warranty.
My question is for Ryan. Ryan, without doing any more CIPs and the money we just put back in there today, what does the CIP fund, how much is in there then?
If we approve everything here, there will be $75,000 remaining.
Okay,
So that means there'd be
so,
right now, about 300,000.
all right.
All right, well,
Yeah, so there's like 168 in CIP, plus then we added this 132 today. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
so really the real question is, new or used? So,
If I had any say, I prefer the used option for the savings. I also have, I think that it's been described by a salesperson, of course, as a Lamborghini of cubicles, as far as a Steelcase brand. Han is also a good brand. That's the brand of the new furniture. If you think about aesthetics, if you look at the IT department, there's a pattern on the outside. Another difference between the used and the new is that the cubicle walls are wider than the Han, so they're a heavier structure.
well, do we want the Lamborghini or the Honda Accord version? Which one are we getting?
Well,
I'm just
might still be a
saying, we've had
Corvette
some
or something.
inflation in our comparables here, because normally we talk about Cadillac stuff
Oh, yeah.
with, government versus generic, and now we're going up to Lambos. So I'm curious what a Lamborghini option for a motor grader looks like.
We're gonna get quoted with Bear County's buying Lamborghini office equipment
Yeah.
For a discounted rate.
for discounted rate.
Or a Lamborghini bookmobile, perhaps.
All right, all right. Oh, boy. All right, we gotta keep it germane, right? Keep it germane. No, that's good, Matthew, that's funny. Well, board, what? There is some savings, but new
And I
isn't
know
right.
it's the next item, but the savings on the auditor side would be 10,788. So the two together are a little bit more, if you want to foreshadow.
So my question, I appreciate Michelle working with Kenny and getting all these numbers and everything, getting all this dialed down is very helpful. My concern actually kind of came in this morning when I had my weekly update with Kenny about some of the issues that we're having countywide. And I think that if Kenny's talked to everybody, but we've got an issue now with the service elevator here that's gonna need a full replacement and is likely to be costly. And so, Kenny, would you be willing to come up here and talk about that for a second? I hate to put you on the spot, but I think when we're talking about this much money, I think we need to know what other stuff is. And then if you would give an update on some of the Trosper Hoyt issues we have too, if there's anything that you foresee that we may need to spend some of this on as well.
So, yeah, so with that, I was gonna ask Ryan too to give an update. So Kenny, why don't you do that? And Ryan, why don't you give an update about kind of some of this too, just so the board has what we talked about the payment. When could we pay for that?
Well, I'll let Kenny describe,
Sure.
the process.
And then you talk about, if
how
you could
the
talk about the
timeline.
CIP timing, yeah, so.
Sure.
Go
That was kind of a two-part question, so I'll start with Trosper Hoyt. We're complete on the well line repair over there. We haven't received all the bills for that or any of the bills for it yet. I'm anticipating that's gonna cost about, in the area of about $50,000. Ryan, for your information on that. The courthouse elevator, which is a new item, that came up just last Thursday. And I did call some of the board members and talk to them about it because this is kind of a big deal. Normally, it would be a hurry up and let's get this thing repaired. But unfortunately, it's not that type of a repair due to its nature. But what we have is a freight elevator in the courthouse. We upgraded our main elevators in the rotunda about 7 years ago. We did not do the freight elevator because it was going to be a custom build. And by custom build, I mean elevator manufacturers have cookie cutter size patterns, I'll call for, elevators that they construct on a normal day in and day out project across the United States. Unfortunately, our freight elevator at the courthouse does not fall within any of those dimensions of a cookie cutter manufactured elevator. Last Thursday, our freight elevator broke down. Now, this is the elevator that's used in the courthouse to transport inmates to the courtrooms and to provide access to the WCICC office, handicap access. Unfortunately for Woodbury County, our elevator service company has told us they can no longer get parts for that elevator. They have been using decommissioned parts from other elevators that they have taken out across the country, and those parts are no longer available. The last few repairs they did for us, they actually had some parts fabricated for us. They are no longer comfortable fabricating parts because of the risk associated with doing that. And so they informed us they won't be doing that. We are living on a hope and a prayer on that elevator right now. We're actually trying to make it operate manually to get the things done that we need to do. And so I guess what I'm saying is, and I called the board members and told them this, we need to try to get this elevator repaired, or replaced is the correct term, replaced as quickly as possible. I'm trying to we will probably have to get bids, but I'm trying to get quotes right now just to get you some actual close numbers. I believe that number is going to be somewhere between 150 and 300,000. And I'm told by the elevator manufacturer, it will take at least 6 months to manufacture that elevator after they're given the okay to start. And so Ryan, I talked to Ryan about this also. Ryan had some ideas, and I'll let Ryan speak to that about how it could be funded.
Right, this I think will be pertinent, yeah.
Well, that's because of that 6-month time delay. We have the 75,000 that has been unallocated from 26. And it's may not actually, this work will probably bleed into fiscal 27. So at that point, we could use, CIP from 27 to complete the funding of it. That is just the thought I had.
Right, because we have advanced early CIP money to IT before. We've done that ahead of time. So that's what I was.
Yeah, but there's 9 months left in the fiscal year. If it's a 6-month lead time, it would be done in this year, wouldn't it?
That's the lead time for the manufacturer. I'm not sure how soon, would that be 6 months from now they are doing the work, or?
We would hope it'd be 6 months from now that they're doing the work.
Okay.
Yes.
So I assume this elevator's completely shut down then? It's not usable at all?
We are only moving the things currently on that elevator that we have to. And we're trying to do that safely, but we're actually doing it physically manually. In other words, we're holding some controls and making some things work so we can operate it.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Kenny. It's always a good day in Woodbury County. It's always a good day.
So I just want to bring up that elevator does affect elections as well, because all of our election equipment is stored here, and that's the way that we get, and I don't know how much one of those machines weighs. Do you, Steve? So that is going to be a problem for the upcoming 2 elections, possibly 3 elections this year that we'll have. So we'll be working with Kenny to figure a solution of how to get the machines out in the easiest way possible.
I just have a question, Michelle. I've heard from some constituents that saw this in the newspaper about, $200,000 for the auditor's office and stuff like that, and they're kind of like, whoa, really? We're gonna do that? But my question would be, like, what are necessities? Like, what needs to be replaced for safety and stuff like that compared to what just, I guess, like new furniture and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I would like to see a more secure entrance in the elections finance side. We have what's called a unity room, which has a secure computer in it that's required for us to have that room, and we put ballots in there. I'd like to see key fobs to the entrances to those doors, because I think that it's difficult to have a key, to have to key a door to, go, when we're going in and out it all the time as the mail comes in and as we receive ballots. It's a constant in and out. So a key fob would make that flow a lot easier. And those are all kind of in the estimate there. And there's a lot of things that I think are basic repairs that just, like the rest of the courthouse, if you don't have the seals repaired on all the windows everywhere, you're gonna end up with a situation like the elevator, with all the windows. There's basic upkeep. The ceiling in the recorder's office, if you look up there in the vault area, you can see where the ceiling's falling, and what happened in the clerk's office with their ceiling. So we're seeing signs of things that are potentially gonna happen, that, so things like that I think are important to make sure that it gets addressed before it gets worse, because then it'll be a bigger cost to the county.
Correct. And I think the last time, correct me if I'm wrong, has it been 20 to 25 years since there's been any type of upgrades in there? Is that correct?
Sorry?
For the auditor's office recorders, has it been like 20 to 25 year time frame since it's been in like new carpet, new?
Well, the recorders did get new
Right, I know
carpet, so
you
that
said.
was approved by a past CIP, so that's one reason why the recorder's quote is a little bit less.
Right.
The auditors, but yeah.
But
it's-
overall, it's been a long time.
It's been a
since-
long time. It's been probably 30 years since the cubicles were replaced.
Right.
We have kind of a,
1997,
1997.
right.
So it's, if you go into the office, you can see we have pink cubicles, we have tan walls, we have blue, we have, we kind of like have a hodgepodge of what we have brought in to make things work. And this workspaces are very small for the staff. In the long run, I would really like to see them have more workspace. There's a lot of papers that go through. There's, come into our office and, you can kind of see the working conditions that everybody has. And then the temps, with the estimates, I didn't estimate having the sit stand for the temps and the positions that aren't used as often, but it's crucial that we have temps. We need temps during elections. We have, we're processing thousands and thousands of ballots, and we have a staff of 3 people in the election side of the office. So we have to have the space to do that. But yeah, the security is the most important thing, and making sure that things are repaired before they get any worse.
Question for Ryan. So if we do this action afterwards, we'll have 75,000 in CIP?
Correct.
So if we theoretically need up to 300,000 for an elevator, we're 225 short, which to me means it's one or the other. 200 here or 225 we need to come up with, up to. Is there a plan for alternate funds next, I mean, within this fiscal year, or is this it?
There is potential of alternate funds, but at the moment, there is uncertainty with them, and I really don't want to speak about them because of that uncertainty.
Other projects then? Uncertainty around existing projects?
Additional revenue.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my concern, Matthew, because we got 168,000 right now, that may cover the cost of the elevator. But it may also might be 132,000 short, and we gotta have it. You know, that's the problem.
Is the lead time always going to be around 6 months? Kenny, is 6 months probably gonna be the lead time 6 months from now?
I would say that's probably a good close figure. Once we learn prices, we'll have to go through a hearing and a bidding process, which will take a few weeks.
Is there any way to pay with next year's, all 300, up to all 300,000 next July 1 for an elevator and get the process going now, or is this something where they need full payment?
That I don't have the answer to.
Okay.
My guess is on a custom build, they're gonna want some money up front. Because they can't do anything else with that elevator if we don't buy it.
And what is the plan for election equipment? These elevators?
We would have to use these elevators or build some type of a ramp and go out the front door, down the stairs.
Well, if we have the extra 75, I mean, if they need a down payment, we could use the extra 75 as down payment. And then
Maybe.
maybe, yeah.
Would we table this until we find out from the elevator company? Or,
I mean, it could be a while till we get quotes on that. I mean, my take is I do understand the elevator cost is coming. I'm wondering if we can push it out to next fiscal year 27 CIP. Use the 75 and pay the remaining out of fiscal year 27 CIP.
But then you're rolling the dice too, that we don't have any issues with any other buildings that we need potentially CIP, because we're only 3 months into this fiscal year. And so to be overextended on something that we know we have to replace and then have no extra money for any other breakdowns, like a Trosper Hoyt, for instance, or anything else, or if the LEC costs more for demolition, I mean, we're just, that's my, that's where I'm uncomfortable, is that we have things that we know we have to fix, that we have to have, that we barely have the money for, to buy other things, excuse me, that we don't necessarily need when we're this early on in the year. I was visiting with my wife about this item last night, and this was before I knew about the elevator, but I said, if I borrowed my entire operating line of credit on the farm within the first 3 months of the fiscal year, my banker would be at my doorstep knocking and say, what the heck is going on here? And that we got a long way to go. We're off to a pretty poor start, honestly. We've ripped into Trosper Hoyt twice. We've had this elevator break. That's my concern.
Right.
And,
No,
a lot of our reserves and gaming, a lot of this stuff was pretty razor thin when we started, so it's not like there's extra places to go. Now, there could be some things that Ryan's talking about that could help, but we don't know that that's gonna help, that's gonna happen either. So, we could table this until we figure out exactly what we're looking at on the elevator, would maybe make the most sense. But as of right now, I would be, if there is a vote tonight, I would probably be a no vote just because we have to get that elevator fixed and that's a pretty substantial amount of money.
Or is there a possibility just to spend the 75,000 on the auditor recorder office and repairs and, hold off on the 125?
Yeah, and you could do, like, for instance, on some of these CIPs that we just reallocated, the 132, that would almost cover like just the auditor's deal, or you for sure would cover the recorders. Like, you could choose, do part of it.
And get started
then-
on one
and then you-
project.
Can I just remind everyone of something, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe Tina can help out with this, but in the past, the CIPs were generally all allocated in January. So you're in a situation right now that is unique because there's still money that hasn't been allocated. So you're kind of got a unique situation where if it had been all allocated in January, you wouldn't even have the opportunity to say that you could spend this money on something else. But what I do want to remind you is generally this money doesn't get borrowed until May, so this money isn't even going to be received by the county until maybe after the 6 months of the elevator project, potentially. Is that your understanding of how it has happened in the past?
Good evening, Tina Bertrand, Woodbury County Treasurer. Yes, in the past, we didn't physically borrow the money until the end of the fiscal year. Having said that, we're spending it. I mean, just because we're not getting the money until May, we're having to float the costs and the expenses on all that stuff for that time period. And some of that, there's a rationale. Part of it is not wanting to take out a loan and, having to pay interest and not having projects start, or not having the project be the right amount, and then we're paying interest on money that we haven't expended. So I do understand the rationale behind that and why you might wait until later, but I also understand the cash flow side of it, which is when these projects are done in November, we're paying that vendor. That vendor's not gonna wait until May to get paid. And we're gonna be in that same situation anyway. So this is kind of the overall kind of budgeting, cash flow. It's all what we have to do every year. It's unfortunate that we have some of these big expenses. I've said it before, strong CIP program where we actually have a big plan of what we need for county repairs within all of our buildings it's probably well past overdue because we're firefighters on this stuff. We're having to put stuff out. Even the water line over at Trosper Hoyt, that water line's probably 30, 40 years old that we just replaced? Okay, so it was clearly at the end of its life cycle. It should have been planned a long time ago. It's kind of to the point where that's how we're just addressing things at this point. When the carpet wears out enough that we're gonna trip on it and it's gonna create a tripping hazard, we'll replace it. So at some point, we have to get out of that mode, and I just don't know, what that answer is right now. We just gotta work towards it. Kenny really puts a good plan put together. He really has a strong plan. The missing component of that is the funding overlay. And we're getting pinched every year. It's getting harder and harder for us. We're talking about furniture that's been installed in 1997. My office is the same way, These are the hard choices that we have to make, but I don't think we can pass on some of the repairs, some of the window sealing and stuff like that Michelle's talking about. There's security issues that she needs to address. We're gonna have to figure it out somehow, some way.
The other thing I'd like to point out is a lot of this money is money we have already borrowed that we have reallocated that we are paying interest on, so it's better to get it put to use sooner than later.
And unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be a problem. The timing on when we borrow, money that is going to come is, to me, not as big of an issue as we are going to have X amount of dollars and we have X amount of needs. Kenny, is that the Lamborghini elevator, or to use Dan's point, can we get a Honda?
That is an unknown manufacturer elevator, so It's probably going to be a custom build in between a Lamborghini and a Porsche of some sort. I guess.
Oh, boy. All right. Well,
Yeah. I just think it makes sense to try to get a quote back, because if the quote comes back at 150 or something, then we still have money that we can do some of this other stuff. But to me, the unknown is very expensive right now. Because if it's 300, then what? Or if it's 3.5, then what? You know, that's where it becomes pretty serious.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Mark, because, like I say, I've had constituents reach out to me. I get it. You know, we have to replace stuff to keep up on things, and maybe we need to have a plan of, instead of everybody having a food fight every year to get something replaced, we have, you know, laid out year by year who's gonna get what, but, with the, elevator and, you know, the expense right now, the unknown of that, I think, I agree with Mark.
You know, I'd like to see these things repaired for, you know, the auditor's office and for Michelle. But, you know, I'd hate to have a incident with the elevator where, you know, someone got hurt or something worse. So I'm thinking about that. And, you know, if they're using this and they're pushing different buttons to just try to bring things up, that sounds pretty risky to me, so.
How long would it take to get a quote back? 2-3 weeks?
I have one vendor coming 10:30 a.m. next Tuesday
Okay.
to meet with me. They are bringing an estimator and one of their mechanical people with them. I'm assuming it may take them 5 days to put a quote together. I'm just guessing.
Well,
5 days
they've
to
got to
go.
design an elevator, you know, in a sense. I mean,
And that's exactly what I'm gonna tell them is, you know, right now, what I really need is just a good quote, a good number, so we can, we have something to work with, and then I'll also explain to them, we'll probably have to end up in the bid process, but, we at least need to know what ballpark we're in.
Follow-up question. Are these damaged components, in your opinion, something that another company couldn't fabricate safely?
Yes, correct.
So we do need a custom elevator.
Yes.
Okay.
well,
Sorry, Michelle, I don't think Kenny did this on purpose.
it was the elevator's fault.
Well, what I'm
actually.
afraid of is there's always gonna be something. There always is gonna be something because this courthouse is over 100 years old. There's always gonna be a $200,000 problem. And I'm afraid that every time I bring this back, that's gonna happen.
yeah. I mean, I hear your guys' concern. I do hear the concern over the money, but I do hear the concern of, and I saw Kenny and Michelle when you were speaking, he was shaking his head, there's always gonna be something popping up, and I at some point, I'd like to just get some of this behind us. But, and if we, I mean, my personal, looking at both of these, I mean, we have 75,000 still allocated in CIP. We could do this, not get it behind us, get it going. I'd hate to dip into cash reserves, but there may be some things coming, which Ryan, we've talked about, potentially that could help us, but you can't bet on that.
I think the bet, you know, right now, it is probably the most prudent to get the quote on the elevator, just, you know, see what that cost is, and, you know, if Kenny knows it by next Tuesday, we can, you know, discuss it then. At least, that might not be a firm number, but
Yeah. Michelle, let me ask you, if we had to pick one or the other, which one it would, in your opinion, would be? And I know,
Well, I would prefer that we table it and discuss it later. I don't want to make an on-the-spot decision
Sure.
of what, and
that's fine, yeah,
I
that's fair.
I want to treat all of my staff fairly.
Right.
And I think there's things that are needed in both sides.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because I understand, Dave, what you're saying with constituents, but I sometimes I meet constituents that say, oh, well, we're doing this or that upgrades. Well, I'm like, you're not driving the same car from 1970 or having the same phone or, now some people have the same carpet from 1970 or
Lamborghini.
the bathrooms, right? They haven't remodeled in 30 years, but I think there's a balance between, we do have to make sure we do upgrade this building because it's a public building. We want to make sure it's pristine, make sure Kenny doesn't have more headaches and our staff is not in a precarious situation. And I just think, 30 years of not changing cubicles, we'll get another 30 years out of this. And
I
we'll
mean,
do
I'd
it.
like to look at the numbers without the cubicle replacement, just to do everything else and see what those
Sure.
numbers turn out to be.
Okay.
And, continue using the cubicles and the setup that we currently have,
Yeah.
because I think that'll cut that number probably, what do you think, in half? I don't, yeah, and, then we'd at least do the repairs, the security, we would be able to do some of that.
Right,
So
okay,
that's something that I think would be moving towards, in the right direction to
Right.
get the foundation set up. So
Correct.
that when maybe there's more funding in the county, that we can replace
Right.
some of the other stuff that's just furniture.
right, yeah. Because I personally, I think it's duly needed. It's overdone. What's the right term? It's time, yeah. It's overdue. That's the term I was trying to think of, yeah. So, but I think we do have to do this, and I think the board agrees in the right financial way. But, okay, thank you for working with us, and thank you for this. These are good backup information, so. So for item B, I'll move to table this.
Do you want to set
Oh, yeah.
a date or anything? You want to come back in 2 weeks, Kenny, 3 weeks? Or just kind of wait and see, because obviously, you
Yeah,
don't have a
I
crystal
can-
ball either.
I can let you know, I'm guessing, hopefully in 2 weeks I'll have something.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee it, but I would hope so.
Okay, yeah, let me know, and then I'll put it back on the agenda. Yeah, Okay, so item B, I'll move to table.
Second?
Second by Nelson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. Item C is approved funds of the $125,000 for the auditor elections, finance office repairs, furniture fixtures to be paid from reallocated fiscal year 23 through 26 CIPs. Michelle?
Well,
You want
this would, I'd propose the same.
Same thing? Okay. All right. All right.
Move to table.
All right. I'll second that. Motion by Nelson, second by Bittinger. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. All right. On to item 10 from Secondary Roads, Laura Severs. This is the approval of resolution to allow secondary roads the use of Woodbury County's unique entity identifier number.
Yeah. Hello. This resolution is a requirement by Iowa Homeland Security to receive FEMA funds. So if it'd be all right, I'll read through the resolution. But this resolution has been used in other counties for this unique entity identifier number. So the resolution is for secondary roads to share use of Woodbury County unique entity identifier number, whereas secondary roads are requesting the use of the Woodbury County UEI number. This allows the Secondary Roads Department to file any FEMA-related documents with the Department of Homeland Security, whereas the Woodbury County Board of Supervisors approves the use of the UEI number and assume all risk involved. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Woodbury County Board of Supervisors that on this 23rd day of September 2025, approve the use of the UEI number and assume all risk involved for the Secondary Roads Department. I don't really think there is risk. These roads are yours. I've tried to explain to Homeland Security that they're your roads and I just manage it for you. But for some reason, they still want this document.
Need documentation that we have shared a unique number. I'll move it.
Second.
Motion by Allen, second by Nelson. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0.
And since Matthew, since you did that for me, I'll offer you that those fancy motor graders are showing up next week in this county. And so you could be the first one to sit in one if you'd like next week.
Nice. All right.
Or is that the
Can you
Lamborghini?
take it around the roundabout?
Do those motor graders, they have spinners on the rims, you know? A lot of chrome.
Only the best for Woodbury County. All right, let's move on. Item 11, County Treasurer Tina Bertrand, approval of Anthem Courthouse CIP fund request.
Good evening again. Should we have a long drawn out conversation or should we just table it until after the repairs for the elevator?
I'd probably say,
huh?
probably table, if the board would agree.
Do we want to just table it? I mean, it's $30,000. There's things in there that I think do need to be addressed. Last week, I think I said the one thing I kind of pulled it, said that the treasurer would do it because I do have it in my budget as the flagpole because we haven't had a flagpole for a while. I was just hoping to wrap that in with some additional work. But like Michelle, that building does have some items that they do need to be addressed. I mean, it is about keeping it secured. So there's some 2 exterior doors. There's some exterior painting and some tuck pointing of the brick and the masonry. You know, that's what kind of secures your building, keeps it from water infiltration. And then we have some exterior concrete walks around the building, and at some of the doors that can create trip hazards. You know,
Yeah,
I think,
the main door isn't even ADA compliant because it's a step up to get in there. So,
right,
you know, that's a problem.
yeah.
Chairman, I have one. The one difference between this is this cannot be or it is for a fiscal '26 request. The other items would be, if it's a courthouse repair, we can use prior year CIP for, but this one, you know, since this Anthem Courthouse wasn't in the bond documents, it would need to be a fiscal '26 request.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think in light of the discussion from the board, I think it seems that the will of the board is to table and to get a quote from the elevator. But the flagpole.
I'm going forward with the
You going
flagpole.
forward? Okay, I was gonna
Just so
say.
you know, it's happening.
I'll chip in myself because we're gonna fly the
Well,
flag proud.
you know, Mark did go out and he tried.
Did he?
I did try.
He did
Okay.
try. He tried
It
to
is
repair
stuck
it.
in the ground.
And it has fallen down and been on the ground and has been repaired in place, and I think it's gotten shorter and shorter every year. Now it needs to be high enough people can actually see it.
And I did go out and we had, Laura left, but Secondary Roads re-rocked that back parking
did,
area.
yes.
So that's
So
much,
thank
much
you
better
very
now,
much.
so.
She left.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Well, with that, I will, I'll move to table this, yeah, till we get more information.
okay.
Second.
All right, motion by Bittinger, second by Nelson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Tina and Michelle, for working hard and working alongside of us, yeah. We want to do the right thing, and we want to take care of our employees. Thank you. Everyone, we're going to take care of you. All right, item number 13, reports on committee meetings. Any reports from the board?
Yeah, you skipped me.
Oh, my goodness.
Skip Ryan.
Guys, I did it again. I
Mark has
apologize.
forgot my cyclone koozie too, so.
Sorry, my bad. From Board Administration, Ryan Erickson, approve of participation from the National Opioid Settlement, Purdue Direct Settlement. Go ahead, Ryan.
This is a form to participate in the settlement, and I ran this by Joshua Widman, and he said it is highly unlikely the county will sue on its own, so it's very prudent to join this,
Okay.
participation form.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that we're gonna get any settlement money, but we might.
Because this is against the Purdue Pharmaceuticals, and they have declared bankruptcy, so we have to wait for all those proceedings.
Right.
Yeah.
But we'll be in line with everybody else in the participation.
Okay. All right. Any questions from the board? All right, I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Bittinger, second by Nelson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 5-0. All right, now on to item 13, I apologize, board. Reports on committee meetings.
You want me to start it, or you?
Go ahead, Ken.
Oh, all right, I'll start out.
All right.
This is, from zoning department, Daniel Priestley sent this to us. We were unable to attend this because we had a different event in Mobile, but just try to keep this brief as possible. So Lefevre property rezoning at 1650 Delaware Avenue in Lawton, Iowa. This was a proposal to split 6.75 acre property into two separate lots. The commission voted to recommend approval of this subdivision with a shared driveway access. Also, now with this rezoning of the same property from agricultural preservation to agricultural estates, this change is required to allow for future construction on newly created lots. There's also a zoning ordinance text amendment for public service garages as a conditional use for both agricultural preservation and agricultural estates. And the change provides flexibility for placement for county facilities without spot zoning. That's just all I wanted to pass on.
All right, thank you Supervisor Carver.
Right, so Kent and I last night had the area solid waste board meeting. It's long overdue. They elected a new chair. Scott Linden, the mayor of Mobile, was elected the chair. The vice chair was Aaron Lincoln from the city council of Sergeant Bluff. Secretary was Jeanette Beekman again. And thanks to Ryan for being there and presenting the financials of the solid waste board. There'll be a decrease of 25% for the payments made or the fees to the county and the participating towns. And we were gonna go up to 50%, but we thought, let's start with 25%, and then hopefully maybe next meeting, maybe we'll lower it another 25%. So it's all good news, and it was good to have a meeting, and Gil Halling were there, SCS engineers that handle the engineering stuff for the old landfill out in Woodbury County were there, and so it was good, to get some information.
They don't call you Dave Landfill Dietrich for nothing.
Well, my middle initial is L.
Oh, boy. He's never living that one down. The only, oh, boy. Oh, boy. It's getting
I don't have
late.
anything. That's, I'm done.
The only thing I have is, last week we had our safety meeting. So thank you, Melissa, for heading that up, and all the department heads and elected officials that attended. It's good to see some of our incidents are going down, and having good feedback from all of our wonderful employees about just how we can be safe. And we're looking to update the safety manual to make sure we are safe and get that premium down. So that's all I have to report. Anything else? Okay. All right. All right. On to citizen concerns. Any citizens? All right. Seeing nobody move to the mic, we're moving on. Board concerns, item 15. Any board concerns?